Hi guys, and welcome to yet another reaction video to another Night City wire for Cyberpunk 2077. Today is supposed to be about giving us a tour of Night City, something about the soundtrack, and I think some of the gangs from what I've heard, so hopefully this is good. The other two have been pretty cool so far. I mean, I can't imagine we're going to get too many more of these with it coming out very soon. Here we go. Oh, starting with a trailer.
You don't believe in no fate. Every day digging the grave. Stepping up with the snakes. City of dreams, city of...
The music in this game is sick. Oh, I thought it was going to start with a trailer, I was going to say.
Hello and welcome to
There's
Night
Holly
City
again.
Wire Episode 3, the show from us at CD Projekt Red, where we talk about all things Cyberpunk 2077.
And stuff.
In today's episode, we're going to start by taking you on a tour of Night City in a new gameplay video and have a chat with senior level designer Miles. Then we're going to introduce you to the gangs of Night City.
She has got a lot of Cyberpunk shit behind her.
And have a chat with Matayush from our quest team. Then before we finish today's episode, we're going to give you a look at some of the incredible finalists in our PC case modding contest.
Oh wow, look at that. That is amazing.
PC players have been waiting to hear. So let's
Ray
get
tracing.
started. It's time to
God
take
damn it, give it
to
us on next gen consoles. I want that ray tracing.
Oh my god, we need to hear today's news is Nova Max.
What the hell?
Hi there. New to Night City? It's not so bad here.
How we feeling today? Cause I feel amazing.
The food. The Thai on 7th and Haywood. The pierogies down by the docks.
Our home. Our pride.
And as always,
I feel like I recognize that
your
voice just now.
business is my business.
And this is your World News Update.
It's going to be such a cool open world. Oh my god, you can go dancing. Strip clubs? Of course there is. Of course there is.
Endless possibilities. And endless lies.
We are fucked, America. And I don't know how we're gonna fix it.
I mean, that's true now, right?
Population in Night City has risen by 300%.
Crime in Night City is now double the rate than in the new United States.
She has got some hair on her.
You want to be some kind of hero?
Wow, look at that brain.
That's a fight this city.
I mean, this really looks like
your own?
better graphically than a lot of the next gen games I've seen, and I'm just like, and this isn't even next gen yet. They haven't even made it
Well,
for
on
next
that
gen
note,
yet.
that's it for today's info flash. Sleep tight, Night City. The grass ain't greener anywhere else.
Night City. What does it mean to you? How well do you know its
Wow,
history?
that's nice.
Who was Richard Knight? How many stations are in the N-Cart system? Which city district boasts the best burrito in town? The answers to these questions and more can be found at the address at the bottom of your screen.
Is that
Check
a
it out
real
and fall in love with Night City all over again.
address? Web address? Be curious to try that. Definitely got the tunes going down in this. Same day as PlayStation,
Well,
man.
since Night
I mean, I'll be
City
playing
is
it on
one
the
of
new
our
Xbox,
stars
but
of
still.
this episode, there is actually quite a lot to talk about. So let's start at the beginning. How did Night City come to be? Because yes, it exists in the world of the tabletop, but how do you take that and make what we've got now?
Well,
A lot of
as you
hard
can
work and a
imagine,
long-
making a city
and a
that
bi-
is
a long
as
time.
big and complex as Night City is quite the ambitious project. First off, we sat down and we were really considering what is it that we wanted to do with Night City. In a way, Night City is the star of Cyberpunk, right? It is one of its main characters.
That's
We
cool.
wanted to make a city that is very, very believable, right? I mean, the word immersion gets thrown around a lot, but really, we wanted you to be able to dive into it and feel like this is a real
Oh my god,
place.
meatballs.
And then secondly, we also wanted to provide enough variety between districts so that exploring Night City would always be fun, right? There's no point in making a city that is all same-ish, and it doesn't really matter where you go, because once you've been through one district, you feel like you've been through all of them.
That's
So
good.
for that, we
Do like variety.
first off started taking a look at the real-life geography that Night City is located on, and that would be on the coast of California. Knowing that Night City would be a coastal city gave us a bit of insight into what we would expect from the city layout. You'd expect the port, you'd expect huge industrial areas that would facilitate this kind of trade that you would assume a city of this type would have with the world.
All that traffic,
And
man.
then we went through and actually
That
divided
hasn't
the city
changed in the
into several
cybernetic
districts, 6 of them,
cyberpunk
and some
future.
of them are based on the original lore. We decided to give their own characteristics in terms of architecture, their demographics, the kind of people that would live there, and also the function within the city. Each of these districts, in turn, we divided into further sub-districts, which we
Wow.
further characterized using the more grand theme of the larger district. This process, I think, has resulted in a city that feels quite alive, has a lot of character, where each district feels like its own distinct zone without feeling separated from the larger picture.
That's cool.
And that results in something that allows the player to easily navigate even the complex concrete jungles of Night City simply by looking around and always having a rough idea where you actually are.
But Night City is clearly so different from anything we've ever created with The Witcher. Can you give us some idea about, or some insight into just how big and how densely packed Night City really is?
Yes, so I'm not exaggerating when I'm saying that Night City is easily the most complex thing that I or the others have worked on. The city is super organic, right? It's not like a chessboard layout, but the layout of the city is crazy, and you can tell that it grew in phases, right? Where
It does look
buildings
very
have
cool.
been built on top of each other, and I guess the mega buildings that we have showcased are a great.
I love how it's got
example of
shanty
this.
towns areas
You'll
and then
actually see
builds into
that they are
the
located
built up
on
area.
some
I think
kind
that's
of
really
pillar, and then expand
Go to
outside,
real life
and then
cities,
up high
especially
into
big
the sky,
ones.
and underneath it you'll have space for other buildings. This yields a lot of interesting experiences when it comes to exploration, and that's the one thing I'm most excited about for players to experience.
How long till in
We've been
real
saying
life
that
we
our
get those
exploration is
AR
super vertical, right? But what this really means
adverts.
is that it changes the way you explore the city. Compared to our previous games, you won't be able to easily set
Looks
out
so cool.
on a target in the distance, right? You won't be able to say, oh, there's a castle on a hill.
Oh my
over
god,
there,
I'm gonna
I'll
sing
try to
karaoke
get
in this
there, and
game.
you'll be lost on the way. But here it's much more intimate, much more moment to moment. You might be roaming the cities and get a call by your fixer who informs you about a job nearby that you might be able to do, right? Or you find an alleyway and you walk down one of the many, many alleyways that the city has to offer, and it's always a surprise. You don't know if you might stumble upon some gangers hanging out that are up to no good. Sometimes, and these are the
go
ones that
fuck you
I
up.
often get surprised with, you'd even stumble upon the odd elevator that is meant to connect parts of the, different layers of the city. And it's quite astonishing sometimes to see where you come out when you enter one of these and, find that, oh, this is actually how it connects to the world. That's crazy. And now I'm here, and now I know there's a shortcut that I can
Chinatown?
take. And again, this all serves to really enhance this sense of wonder that we all come to love from open world
Yeah,
games, and
exploring
the
this
whole
place
city
is gonna
built
be
to cater to
wild.
that.
I mean, you guys have really brought Night City to life, and I really want to make a point of that. It is a living, breathing city. So as a level designer, can you give us some insight into those little touches that you guys have made? Because
Look at the little Keanu Reeves statue in the
placing
background.
rubbish by hand.
Oh yes, we've been placing quite a bit of rubbish, and that's certainly one of the more glorious parts of being a level designer or an environment artist, where you get to litter the streets that you've spent time building.
I placed
with
that
garbage.
rubbish.
But it's
That was
details
me.
such as this that we find really important to make the city feel alive. And
Did I
also,
read that
we
right?
take great
Aliens
pride
kidnap
in
my
the process of
kids and
the
wife.
right?
Help me
We have a
celebrate.
lot of fun actually placing a lot of what we call mini stories, right? These are little encounters that you can find when you simply walk along the streets. Of course, we have huge quests, right? Side quests. We have lots of.
I remember when you first saw him and he looked so great. It doesn't look as good
It's
now.
nice to just kind of stop down for a minute
Like,
and take a look at your surroundings that we have so lovingly created.
Does look
and
more
try
like
to see
Keanu
if
Reeves
there
in it
isn't something that you can be a
recently
little
has,
detective
but
for. Now, one other thing
not as good
I
as that
think
what
is
first
really,
trailer we
really
saw,
cool
but
is also
that's
the fact
expected.
that we have actually named every single
Jig
street
Jig
in the
Street.
city. So not only will NPCs be able to communicate their locations or the locations they want you to visit by sort of referring to the street names, but also you will be able to talk to your friends about it in that way, right? Have you
Yeah, I
been
suppose.
to Poplar Street in Japantown, for example? And
Not calling it
I
Chinatown,
think
we're
this
calling
is
it
a small
Japantown.
detail, but the philosophy that we have with these kind of things is that, you know, many small things contribute to the sum of it, which is hopefully then you being able to explore a city that you feel is truly alive and that you haven't been experiencing before.
Well, Miles,
Sounds
thank
awesome.
you so much for giving us your insight. I
No, I
suppose
can't
when
wait.
the game launches, you could be an official Night City tour guide instead, right?
I might be, yeah. You know, if this
Hmm.
game dev thing doesn't work out for me, I might retire and become a tour guide in Night City.
Don't forget that if you are tuning in late or if you just want to watch anything again, we will be uploading everything to our channels soon. Now, from the 6th Street to the Valentinos, it's time to introduce you to the gangs of Night City.
This is going to be cool. I hope they're very, very different to each other. Can you join a gang?
You know how things work in Night City? The stronger survive, but that's how things stand. You're either somebody, or you fizzle out into nothing.
Den C ain't a city that lets you get by without buddies.
Be very careful, my friend. We are all so far from home.
Which gang's the city's biggest and baddest, according to the NCPD?
Scavs hold the body count title. Or Maelstrom, depending on the season.
One time, a Maelstrom ganger
They
killed
look
a young kid right
pretty
in front of
scary.
my eyes for shits and giggles.
Look at them.
Sucking psychos.
And who the fuck are you to say what can and can't be? I'm gonna introduce you to our meat.
They're terrifying.
About time we had some fun!
Think Maelstrom never forgets?
Never!
Wait, they've took those cybernetic implants a bit too far.
Just a gang like any other, right?
I'll take the Valentinos. They follow
Oh my
God and
god, they
money.
look sick.
Honor means something to them.
How'd you meet Jackie?
We started out together.
In the Valentinos?
No, in the fucking Bible book club.
I gotta give style points to the Valentinos.
They
have
do
a
look
punishment for every occasion.
cool.
Gangster life.
That's the
Quick
style
shout out to
style
everyone in
boys.
Haywood and Santo Domingo. Lately, the Valentinos and 6th Street have had a bigger bone to pick.
6th Street. Why'd they want to wipe you?
Wow.
I don't, can't fucking
It's
stand
division people.
I've dealt with 6th Street before. We do the run, they'll transfer the cred.
Come on, let's go before 6th Street shows up. Shot!
Are these just like
Hate those bastards. Vomit lofty patriotic bullshit.
yeah,
Time to bring on
the proper American patriot like
Any idea how many
taking stuff too
attacks
far
were
kind of
behind
thing.
the Black Wall we neutralized? If the Voodoo Boys breach the Black Wall, we'll all be fucked.
Voodoo Boys. Urban myth, I thought. Just net runners spooking each other. No such gang.
You know, I heard a few
This is the
things
Matrix
about
boys.
Voodoo Boys. Best runners in town.
You do not steal from the Voodoo Boys. I see you, always.
No, this is the gang we've seen quite a lot of in the previous
Their own
gameplay.
island, cut off from the rest of the city.
This is our turf, our home. Until last week, the animals crawled in.
Animals are the craziest fucking gang in
Oh, these are the gym boys. Literally, everyone's gonna be known as a boy for me.
Animals aren't the play here, are
Gym
they?
boys, star
They're hired
boys.
muscle. Someone else needed them.
I fucked you over, you fucked the
Jesus
gang over.
Christ.
And we're at the start of
They're
the story.
hench as fuck.
Somebody fucked the corp. See how this works now? My husband's new
Oh wow.
very high in the tiger class.
Yes, like a samurai.
They did what
people.
made the best
Like
edits.
Yakuza kind of thing.
Sold sex and black market tech.
Oh, they got bikes. I want a bike.
You know what else they do well? Break the knees of people who ask questions.
I gotta do something.
Shut the fuck up! The tigers will kill us.
Come on, baby.
Moxes.
Tiger claws killed one girl too many, so people took matters into their own hands.
Folk went
These
ballistic.
just like
Girls, pimps, outcasts, the whole freak show. It's how the mocks got started.
Think you're some kind of gangoon now?
Us Moxes have each other's back. We look out for one another.
Love.
You looking for some company tonight?
adventure power women.
I thought Susie and the gang could really change something in this city.
Moxes and nomads don't seem so different. Both seem to yammer a lot about community, solidarity. Tell me about the Badlands. Not much going on out here, huh?
Au contraire. This is an ecosystem.
Variants.
Nomads, wrapped in Shiv, corporations, and drifters, they form a complete whole. Remove one part, the delicate balance topples.
Here in the Aldecaldos, it all stays in the family.
Classic dilemma. What comes first?
This is going to be a game I need to play
outside
several
world.
times.
This family will go to hell and back.
Everyone in this city lives in their own bubble, and either you fly high or sink into quicksand.
So hyped. Everything I see of this game just makes me
Matthew,
want to
thank
play
you
it more.
so much for joining us. I have personally been really excited to give people a closer look at the gangs. We've shown a little bit on Twitter, but their styles are so distinct.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I enjoyed them a lot as well in our game. I think they're very cool.
But let's start then with the kind of role that they play, because gangs really do play a prominent role in Night City, correct?
Yes, definitely. The gangs, they rule the streets of Night City. You know, they have the newest cyberware, they have the newest
They're
weaponry,
terrifying.
and
Fuck them, guys.
they're really a power that everyone needs to take into account when they are thinking of operating in Night City. You will encounter them as you explore the city, of course, but also as you complete main quests, side quests, different jobs for the fixers. Sometimes you might even get hired by them.
But then,
The Yakuza
I
look
suppose
cool.
everybody's thinking then, can you join a gang?
Well,
Please.
he is a merc, and mercs of
It's just
Night
gonna
City
work
are
for
this unique, distinct
several
group that
gangs.
stick mostly to themselves, right? And they get jobs from variety of factions. They can get jobs from corporations, they can get jobs from gangs, they can get jobs from different kind of like influential clients. Because of this, nobody will ever trust a merc to be one of them.
That's
right?
fair.
And
Because
the
it's
gangs are no exception here. They
like
are looking only for like people
chance
that
to
they know
dabble in
will
all
be
of the
loyal to
gangs.
them, right? And that they will fight for their cause all of the time, not just some of the times when it's profitable to them. So because of this, we will mostly stick to the afterlife. And the afterlife are this group of mercs, this legendary group
Oh, so
of
the mercs
mercenaries
are their own
in
gang
Night
kind of
City.
thing.
They get the best jobs, they get the most money, the best clients, and so on. So if you want to become a legend in Night City, you are going to the afterlife.
So we've obviously mentioned distinct style then. So does that mean there are kind of special gang-themed weapons and items and
Of course it's
clothing
gonna be.
for players
Of course it's
to
gonna be.
find and use?
Yes, definitely. There are different vehicles that you can drive, for example. There are cars.
I
there
want
are
those bikes from the
motorbikes,
samurai people.
Then, of course, there are
How sick
different
that is.
pieces of clothing themed after gangs. There are weapons and so on. So, yeah, definitely there are things to look forward to.
I suppose as somebody who's spent as much time as you have kind of getting to know the gangs, I have to ask, which is your favorite and why?
So I would have to say probably Maelstrom, simply because they have this unique, distinct feel and this
Terrifying
weird
feel.
aesthetic about them.
Pretty much.
So the idea about Maelstrom is they are people who want to cross the boundary between the machine and human, right? They are changing so much of their body with cyberware that
Kate's
they
gonna hate
no
this.
longer look human, really. On
Kate's
top of
gonna
that, they are
hate that
also
guy.
very unpredictable. It's very difficult to say what they will do at any point when you meet them. At one moment, they can be shaking hands with you.
I don't like
at
the fact that you
other
can't see their
moment,
eyes,
they
'cause
will
you can't
pull
tell what they're
gun
thinking.
gun out on you, and they bring in this element
And
of
that's an
chaos
issue.
into the game, which I really enjoy personally.
Oh, Matty, thank you so much for joining us. It's always interesting to learn what your favorite gang is. I think it kind of tells me a little bit about you.
Oh, does it? What
Is
does
that a
it
good
say
thing?
about me?
Well, we'll talk about that later. But for now, before we wrap up today's episode, we asked people to show us their creativity and design a PC case mod.
These are gonna
Cyberpunk
look
style.
sick.
Our panel of judges selected 5 finalists and we teamed them up with professional case modders to bring their concept to reality.
So is that the base?
These 5 amazing designs will be fighting for the main prize, an Alienware Aurora PC, along with other awesome gaming peripherals, brought to you by our partners, Alienware, Nvidia, and SteelSeries.
With Cyberpunk skin.
Let's see the mods.
That looks cool. Kind of like a race car.
Love this one.
Oh wow, it's got legs.
The whole aesthetic
That's
works
amazing.
with each other.
Absolutely next level. Honestly, kind of terrifying.
What? That's the winner for me. Crazy.
Exactly the type of thing I would expect to find at a trade show.
It really looks like
I
it
mean, you
could
wouldn't
have
have
come
this in
straight
your
out of the
house,
game.
would you really? But then again, maybe you would. Wow. Huh.
To watch the full PC case modding video and to get more information about when the winning design will be available on charity auction, stay tuned to our social media channels. Looking at those PC case mods, it reminds me that we do have one more thing to reveal.
The PC thing.
If you're going to be playing Cyberpunk 2077 on PC when it launches this November, we do have some specs to share that I think some of you have been waiting for. The minimum system requirements for Cyberpunk are a Windows 7 or 10 PC, an Intel Core i5 3570K or AMD FX 8310, 8 gigs of RAM, and an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 780 or an AMD Radeon RX 470. In the storage department, the game will take up roughly 70 gigs of space, and although it will run off a HDD, we do recommend an SSD. As for the recommended specs, you're in the green if you're rocking Windows 10, an Intel Core i7
I think I literally hit the minimum.
4790 or
I'm not going to play it on
AMD
PC. But
Ryzen 3 3200G, 12 gigs of RAM, and an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1060 or AMD Radeon R9 Fury. Thank you so much for joining us for episode 3 of Night City Wire. Don't forget that if you've missed anything or if you just want to watch again, we will be uploading everything to our channels shortly, and we will be back soon with episode 4.
more. Jesus. They're just going to keep going with this, aren't they? I like the look of the gangs, and I like the look of the world. Not as more in depth as the one with the guns and everything from last time, but still pretty cool. The gangs look awesome, and I feel like you're not going to see them all in one gameplay session, one playthrough. I feel like you're going to have to play it several times to get involved with all the gangs, which I think I'll be doing. But yeah, thank you for watching. Like this video if you like what we're doing here, and if you want to see the next one, subscribe and click the little bell icon. And we'll see you next time, guys. Bye.